All right, let's get started here. Waiver wire for week 15. You're going to want to look at week 14's touches by those that are rostered by less than 90% here. Tony Pollard leads the list here with 25 touches. He just recently dropped below 40 or 90% here. You can see on these, based on these last 8 weeks, you can see why, but you can see he's still ranked as the 24th in scoring, 20th in touches. And big last week helped. So uncommonly, hey, Spears still got a little action, but not as quite as many touches and rushes as Pollard did. I don't know that I'm going to rush out there and get Pollard, but hey, he's owned by a lot of people. Anyway, how about Jalen Wright? Here's a fresh one, right? He popped up here on the screen. Look at those 24 touches. He coming in relief of Devon Achane, who had a rib injury and left about halftime. Coach, supposedly a coach's decision, questionable for next week. We'll see how that works out. But Jalen Wright, who got ahead, I mean, Ollie Gordon was in there, got a couple carries, you can see, but not as much as Jalen Wright. So have to check how Achane is doing for next week. Devin Neal, you've been sleeping on him still? Less than 90% owned. Look at this. He's been coming on with Alvin Kamara hurt, out, inactive. So is he going to be back next week? Why rush him back? Kendrick Miller. So Devon Neal's been getting the action here. And 20 touches. So he's the guy. How about Tyler Algier here? He got in there, got some points too. Brian Robinson Jr. or Bijan Robinson led them, of course. But hey, he's always Algier here got a few in here. Did pretty good. He's always on the list. Now, here's the one. We've been pushing him the last few weeks. Why haven't you picked him up yet? Blake Corum. Look at this. He just went crazy again. Now, he's sharing with Kyrene Williams. They're trying to save Kyrene Williams for the playoffs as we get down here to the end. Blake Corum's been getting more and more action here towards the end. So make sure you get him out there, get him ready. 13 only this way, but those touchdowns rushing good. How about White here? 12 touches. Filling in here, Bucky Irving. Hey, he got some touches too. They're doing it. And even Sean Tucker popped in here with some touches. Spreading it around there a little bit in Tampa with his 12 touches. Jordan Mason, 11 touches. So him and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones seemed to be sharing. Hey, this last week, coming off Aaron Jones, a good game. Hey, Jordan Mason pops back in there. It's going to be game dependent on if you can use him or not, probably. But hey, 11 good touches for him. Bam Knight, down game. He'd been doing pretty good the previous 3 weeks. He still led them in touches shared with Michael Carter. Michael Carter didn't do that great either. So, and they're still waiting. Word is, but I don't think that Benson's ever coming back. So, and maybe DeMarcado will next week, but we'll have to see what the matchup is on Bam Knight. But he's always out there. How about Kenneth Gainwell? Kenneth Gainwell, here he got popped back on. Here this last few weeks, he's 32nd in scoring. So he's going to have up and down weeks. He has been. But you can see, depending on Warren's been more solid here. But, hey, he's popping on here, Kenneth Gainwell. Chris Rodriguez. Hey, he come down a little bit on scoring, but still had some nice touches, 10 touches. You can see Krosky Merritt here with 7 touches on the list. So those two been sharing, filling in there. Just probably game flow here. Rodriguez here with 10. How about Spears? He got some to help out, but he didn't have quite the game Tony Pollard did. Yep, they're not going to. I thought the Cleveland game would have been a tough game, but hey, at Cleveland. But hey, Tennessee kind of came through there. How about Pacheco? This sharing's not been going very good. Him and Kareem Hunt both down weeks. Pacheco here, he's just a bad game here. He got his 9 touches. Too much sharing going on there for him. You just can't hardly start him. All right. How about Ronnie Rivers here? Ronnie Rivers, hey, spread it around there. We even got room for him to get a pickup. I'll get on the list here. Rams were rolling, right? And we said, and Tucker got in for a few there too, getting crowded there. Sampson got a few, and P. Ryan played a pretty important role there. He got his 7 touches in there, but all right, that's it. We'll check out the. Here's where they're rostered. Obviously, Jalen Wright. He's available, but you'd have to check. I mean, that might be a special deal. You just have to find the availability of Achane in the next game. But it was surprising he played ahead of Ollie Gordon. The rest of them are pretty close to where they're always at here as far as ownership. Let's take a look at the wide receivers. All right, let's take a look at these wide receivers for week 15. This is how they did week 14. Who got some touches here? Flowney for Dallas. Look at this popping on here. All right. CeeDee Lamb, I guess he was questionable with a concussion for the next week. Flowney come on there, picked up the thing. Now, Pickens had a little down week last week. Maybe they were teaming up on him a little bit more and letting Flowney run, but 9 touches for him. He did great. How about Jaden Reed's back? Came in with 6 touches. It's an awful crowded room there. Romeo Doubs had some, just too crowded there in the Packers to really load up here. I mean, hey, you see even some Christian Watson's back there getting some. But hey, it's nice to see him back with 6 touches. A little too early to pick him up, I'm afraid. How about Jack Besh here? All right, he got some touches finally coming on, starting to use the rookies here. Hey, maybe they'll pick up and use him a little bit more, but hey, not enough to get him on your team yet, especially on a bad team. How about Indy, Alec Pierce? Now, was he questionable for week 15 with undisclosed injury? He had a little injury, but hey, before he left, he was doing pretty good here. Got some points for them, 5 touches. He'd been coming on here, these last few weeks here. So, but you have to, with an injury concern, I don't know, rush out. They share a lot there in Indy. And, of course, Daniel Jones looked like he was hurt there, too. So, new quarterback, new problems there in Indy. How about here with Luther Burden? He's coming on here. Look at these last few weeks, more and more involvement there, right? Who wasn't involved was DJ Moore. Whew, bad week for him with the Dunze's out, right? Inactive, maybe come back. I don't know if they were talking 2 weeks for him being out. So Luther Burton might pop up there, but boy, just not a lot of action. There's going to be independent. DJ Moore did nothing, as far as OZ did a little bit, but hey, maybe that's worth keeping an eye on if he's out again. How about DK? He's been kind of leading them compared to Iamanor. Iamanor did get on the list this week, did some good, but with a touchdown, but DK's been commanding that a little bit. Tim Patrick, here he is. Had a good week for him. He's coming on. Got 5 touches for Tim Patrick there. Jacksonville, big win for them, huh? How about Jordan Addison? Falling off these last few weeks. Always present. Quarterbacking might be the problem there. J.J. McCarthy came on. Did a little better than he's been doing. But with Justin Jefferson there, he look at those points for Jefferson just going down and down. Bad quarterback plays certainly can bring you down. Jordan Addison with only 4 touches. Josh Downs, same story with all the Indy receivers. I'd say even Pittman. Even though Alec Pierce might be out, it's just that, hey, with Daniel Jones going out, and doubtful for week 15. So, and Anthony Richardson's there. It's going to be that rookie. So, stay away from Indy's receivers, I guess. Shaheed, special teams. Just seems where he's been doing pretty good. Not a lot there for him to pick through. Mechie gets back on the list with his 4. Love the icon. How about Pat Bryant? He's been coming on a little bit more, but not enough to scoring. So, not a lot to pick from here. And that wasn't Vele. Jones for the Saints got 4 touches. Troy Franklin with 3, tapering off here for Denver. Mims, no action there, So Cortland Sutton, a little bit more better. But hey, and how about Jaden Higgins? He's been relevant these last few weeks, picking up scraps. Of course, I think that was kind of a hard game at Kansas City. So we'll see how he lines up next week. But he's someone to keep an eye on, I think. So, all right, that's a look at the wide receivers. I guess we could check out their rostered right now. I wouldn't rush out and get this Flowney. It depends. And Jaden Reed, too crowded there. Maybe this Besh, if they start trying to involve them a little bit, I'd stay away from Indy. Not a lot here to pick from this week. So maybe Burden, but hey, it just depends if Odunze's out another week or not. So, all right, that's a look at them. Here, let's take a look at this.